I woke you all with love and want to share a beginning of a solution if we're interested in this situation. And I'm going to just start with something I heard today. A former actual real Black Panther. I used to work with the Black Panthers, the real ones, back in the 60s and 70s. You know, they weren't paid by George Soros. They weren't political operas. Joining the Black Panthers in those days was known as revolutionary suicide. It meant you were willing to seriously die for the situation. And many of the Black Panthers that I knew personally indeed did die. Now, I don't want to focus on that. I want to make a point that these are really committed, very committed people. And one of them is a person named Larry Pinkney, who I actually didn't know. I may have been in the same room as him in some meetings, okay, but I actually didn't know him. But I just kind of heard him today, and it's like he works with he has created a production program called The Black Activist, okay? It is really speaking words of wisdom. And it's the wisdom of being, actual person very, very committed. And I resonate with that because I've been committed since 1965, really trying to bring a new consciousness to our society and dealing with the issues of racism, that was really, and class issues and so forth like that were really very, and still are, fundamental to what's going on. It's like, whoa, okay, this guy has something to say. He has some wisdom. And the point he was making, and it's the point I'm going to make too, hatred does not heal hatred. That may seem obvious, but what we're seeing in today is the media and the politicians, they are actually supporting hatred. They're supporting division. They're supporting racism. Now, if you're trying to create peace and harmony, obviously division and racism are not a solution to anything. What they do is further the division and further the anger and further the hatred. Now, I'm not saying every one of these, media people or politicians are actually conscious of what they're doing. And yes, I'm sure there are a variety of people who are smart enough to know that they are actually deliberately making things worse. Because, as Larry really was making the point, as a former real Black Panther, and the point is simple. You can't heal division and racism with more division and racism. So he raises the question, which I'm going to say I totally agree, is our people even serious at doing this? Or they're just kind of playing social division games? And I say that seriously, having been in the midst of this, and still am in the midst of this, of how we go about upgrading our society and dealing with the class issues and, again, sexist issues and racist issues and gender issues, and it goes on and on. And so the solution to all these divisions and racism is not creating more division and racism. I would say that's a no-brainer. But apparently the media and politicians are kind of pushing that as a healthy response. And what I'm saying is hatred does not heal hatred. So what do we have to do here? Okay, first of all, not listen to these people because they have no intent to making the situation better. I've been watching this for years. They like it. They get an advantage. What's the advantage? I don't want to be too political here, but obviously the more division, the more racism, it's called divide and conquer. So what's new? So they're pushing a divide and conquer so that they can really enslave people. So let's kind of get the big picture here. So, as Larry Pinckney said, and really, again, I'm saying also here, is the way to create healing is to create healing. No brainer. The way to create peace and harmony is to create peace and harmony. It's what we did in Central Harlem. It wasn't that hard to do. It was what I did with the Black Gangs in South Side Chicago. Let's get people working together. Let's get people really trying to cooperate. We did that. We had the Committee of 100 in Central Harlem. What that's everybody working together. And through working together, and I'm not saying people have to love each other. That's way too far. But we have to commit to be friends. We have to commit to make some level of heart connection. And we have to commit to actually wanting to make the situation better. And not just give us all this empty rhetoric that creates division and racism and plays out the program that's trying to be, let's say, dumped on our heads. We don't have to buy it. We can go into working together, simple. We don't have to love each other, just work together, being good neighbors, being good friends, committing to actually change the consciousness in society. Not through hatred. Hatred brings more division. And I'm going to use the word love, but friendship, commitment to working together. That's a simple first step. Maybe love will come later. We got to have that first step. And the first step is, hey, I don't know if I trust you this way, that, but fine. Let's sit in the same room and let's come up with a bigger approach that brings unity and peace and respects all people and calls upon the insights of all people to create a bigger picture for national healing. Now again, if that's the interest, that of course is my interest, is that the interest of the people in charge? I would really question that because they're not doing things that take us towards that. You know, if you want to go, there's an old saying, if you want to go in a certain direction, you actually have to walk in that direction and not have divisive, racist rhetoric that's going out there. That doesn't take us in that direction. Can we come together in peace? Can we come together in harmony? Can we come together and eventually love and see that we are all human beings? We all have that spark of God in us. And we can begin to see the spark in ourselves and the spark of God in others. And that's the first step. May we all be blessed that we're inspired to take that first step. And then hopefully the second step. Peace be with you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tathayat. And I don't know if you can see it behind me, but there's a full moon right behind me. So we're working in the full moon energy of the fullness of it's time to wake up and see our unity, see our collective humanity, and see that we have the possibility to raise the consciousness of this living planet into a new world. In a world of peace and love where everyone feels safe and no one is exploited. Okay, true peace be with you.